Welcome, the anointed ones. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Here's the twist, though. Not all seeds grow quietly. Some erupt like volcanoes, shattering the ground beneath them. That's the story of the chosen ones, forces of nature disguised as underdogs. They weren't just doubted. They were mocked, betrayed, and written off by the very people now scrambling to understand how their downfall turned into the comeback of the century. Fact. Studies show that people are more motivated by proving others wrong than by achieving their own goals. But for chosen ones, it's never just about revenge. It's about rewriting the entire script. And in this new story, their enemies aren't villains. They're just extras, fumbling in the background while the chosen ones ascend. Here's the kicker. It's game over for everyone who thought they could watch their demise like a spectator sport. Now, they're sweating in the hot soup they stirred up, while the chosen ones serve the main course. Success, served cold, with a side of poetic justice. Number 1. The paradox of hatred, fuel for the fire. The chosen ones are like fire, and hatred is the fuel that keeps them burning brighter. Every insult, every doubt, every sneer, they absorb it, refine it, and convert it into raw power. While most people crumble under the weight of negativity, the chosen ones thrive in it. It's not because they enjoy being targeted, it's because they understand a profound truth. Hate is proof of significance. You don't throw rocks at something irrelevant. The louder the opposition, the clearer the signal that they're onto something extraordinary. What their enemies fail to realize is that their spite works against them. The chosen ones aren't deterred by criticism, they're energized by it. Each hateful word becomes a challenge, a dare to rise even higher. Every act of sabotage backfires spectacularly because the chosen ones are experts at taking adversity and using it as ammunition. The doubters think they're breaking them, but they're actually building them. Here's the real irony. Enemies spend all their energy trying to tear the chosen ones down, only to end up making them stronger. It's like throwing gasoline on a flame hoping it will go out. They don't just underestimate the chosen ones, they fundamentally misunderstand them. The more they hate, the more they create a force they can't control. It's almost poetic, really. The chosen ones' rise isn't just about winning. It's about watching their enemies destroy themselves in the process. Every failure, every setback, every insult becomes part of a story so powerful that it can't be ignored. The chosen ones don't just survive the hate. They turn it into their legacy, leaving their enemies with nothing but regret and a front-row seat to their greatness. Number 2. Unpredictability. The chosen ones move in silence. The chosen ones are masters of unpredictability. They don't follow the obvious path, and they certainly don't play by anyone else's rules. Their every move is calculated but never predictable, leaving those who doubt them scrambling to keep up. Enemies expect them to fight in the open, to make noise, to show their plans. But that's never how the chosen ones operate. They thrive in silence, moving with precision while everyone else wastes time trying to figure out their next step. By the time anyone realizes what's happening, it's too late. It's not just about keeping their plans hidden. It's about rewriting the game entirely. The chosen ones don't just think outside the box, they burn the box and build a new one. While their enemies are busy plotting against them, they're already 3 steps ahead, turning the tables so completely that no one even notices until they've already won. Their unpredictability doesn't just confuse their enemies, it terrifies them. It's unsettling to go up against someone who doesn't react the way you expect, who doesn't play into your hands, and who constantly keeps you guessing. That kind of power is unnerving because it means control is never on the side of the opposition. For the chosen ones, unpredictability isn't just a strategy, it's a weapon. It keeps them untouchable, untraceable, and unstoppable. The people who root for their downfall end up falling into traps of their own making, trying to fight battles that don't exist. And when the chosen ones strike, it's swift, decisive, and devastating. By the time their enemies realize they've been outplayed, the game isn't just over. It's been rewritten entirely, with the chosen ones standing victorious at the center. Number 3. The burden of being misunderstood. The chosen ones are never fully understood until it's too late. In their early days, they're dismissed, underestimated, and labeled as too different or not enough. People fail to see their potential because it doesn't fit neatly into the boxes society has built. They're called dreamers, troublemakers, or worse. It's easier to mock them than to acknowledge that they're operating on a level most people can't comprehend. But here's the thing about chosen ones. Their greatness is always ahead of its time. The same people who ridicule them are the ones who will later claim they saw it coming or always believed in them. It's laughable, really, how quickly people rewrite their own stories to align with success. The chosen ones don't need validation, but they see the hypocrisy for what it is, a sign that their rise has forced the world to pay attention. Being misunderstood isn't just a phase for them, it's a crucible. The isolation, the skepticism, and the lack of support become the fires that forge their resilience. They learn to move in silence, to trust their vision even when no one else does. And when their time comes, the shift is undeniable. Suddenly, the very traits that were criticized, boldness, ambition, creativity, become the reasons everyone admires them. What makes this transformation so powerful is the way it exposes the truth about people. It's not that the chosen ones changed, it's that the world finally caught up. By then, it's game over for anyone who doubted them. The chosen ones aren't interested in proving themselves anymore. They're too busy thriving. Their enemies are left to deal with the sting of their own blindness, watching greatness unfold where they once saw failure. Number 4. Adversity, a divine prerequisite. Adversity isn't just a part of the chosen one's journey, it's the foundation of it. Every trial, every setback, and every heartbreak is tailor-made to forge the strength they'll need to fulfill their destiny. While most people see challenges as barriers, the chosen ones know better. They recognize that their suffering isn't pointless, it's preparation. Life is chiseling away at their weaknesses, sharpening their skills, and building resilience layer by layer. What looks like misfortune to outsiders is, in truth, a divine process. The chosen ones are put through the kind of tests that would crush ordinary people because their purpose demands extraordinary strength. You don't temper steel with feathers, you need fire and pressure. In the same way, the chosen ones endure storms that are brutal and unrelenting, but they come out the other side unbreakable. This isn't just about enduring hardship, it's about transformation. Each obstacle forces them to adapt, to think differently, to find solutions that others would overlook. Adversity teaches them patience, grit, and the ability to thrive under pressure, qualities that no amount of comfort could ever instill. The beauty of this process is that it's invisible to everyone else. While the chosen ones are in the trenches, the world sees only struggle, not growth. But when their moment comes, the transformation is undeniable. The very trials that were meant to destroy them become the proof of their power, the reason they're ready to dominate. Adversity doesn't break chosen ones, it builds them. It shapes their character, tests their commitment, and prepares them for the greatness that lies ahead. By the time they rise, their strength is not just evident, it's unstoppable. Their suffering was never a setback. It was the prerequisite for their triumph. Number 5. The psychological toll on their enemies. The rise of the chosen ones doesn't just leave their enemies defeated, it leaves them psychologically wrecked. It's one thing to lose, it's another to watch someone you doubted, mocked, or actively tried to destroy achieve a level of success you can only dream of. That kind of realization doesn't just sting, it haunts. For the enemies of the chosen ones, the real punishment isn't external, it's internal. They're forced to sit with the bitter truth that every insult they hurled, every scheme they plotted, and every ounce of energy they spent trying to bring the chosen ones down was for nothing. Worse, they realized they played a role in the very rise they wanted to prevent. The irony is unbearable, and it eats at them. As the chosen ones ascend, their enemies start to unravel. They obsess over how they missed the signs or underestimated them. They replay their own actions, trying to make sense of how their plans backfired so spectacularly. What should have been a victory for them turns into a psychological minefield of regret and self-doubt. But the cruelest twist is this. The chosen ones are no longer paying attention. While their enemies are consumed with resentment and self-pity, the chosen ones have moved on to bigger and better things. This indifference cuts deeper than any revenge could because it confirms the truth their enemies fear most. They were never important. Watching the chosen ones rise doesn't just hurt, it forces their enemies to confront their own mediocrity. Their schemes, their hate, their efforts, they all amounted to nothing. And that realization doesn't fade, it lingers. A constant reminder of their own failure to stop what was always inevitable. Number 6. Unshakable authenticity, a threat to the world. The chosen ones live in a way that rattles the foundation of everything people are taught to believe. They refuse to play by the rules society sets, and that alone makes them a threat. While most people bend, twist, and reshape themselves to fit into a world obsessed with approval and validation, the chosen ones stand tall, unapologetically authentic. Their refusal to conform doesn't just surprise people, it terrifies them. Authenticity is rare because it's risky. It's easier to go along with the crowd, to mimic what's popular, to avoid rocking the boat. But the chosen ones don't care about easy. They move through life on their own terms, making choices that align with their truth, even if it makes others uncomfortable. And it does. Watching someone live so freely, so boldly, forces people to confront their own compromises. It's like holding up a mirror, and many can't handle the reflection. This authenticity isn't just a quirk, it's a superpower. It gives the chosen ones an energy that can't be faked, a magnetism that draws people in even as it unnerves them. They dismantle the unspoken rules that keep society in line, proving that you don't need permission to succeed, that you don't need validation to have value. Their existence challenges everything from workplace hierarchies to cultural norms, making them impossible to ignore. The world's discomfort with the chosen ones is rooted in fear. They remind people of what's possible when you stop pretending, stop conforming, and start living with purpose. But the irony is, this fear fuels the chosen ones even more. They aren't just authentic for themselves, they're rewriting the rules for everyone else, whether the world is ready for it or not. Number 7. Enemies turn fans, then fades to obscurity. One of the most ironic twists in the journey of the chosen ones is how their enemies, once relentless in their efforts to undermine them, often transform into admirers. These are the same people who doubted, criticized, and ridiculed them at every turn. But when faced with the undeniable brilliance of the chosen one's success, their hate turns to reluctant admiration. It's not genuine, though. It's rooted in the realization that their efforts to stop them failed so completely that the only way to cope is to switch sides. But here's the kicker. By the time these enemies turn into fans, it no longer matters. The chosen ones have risen so far above the noise that validation, even in the form of newfound loyalty, is meaningless. They've outgrown the need for recognition or approval from those who once sought to tear them down. What was once a battle for respect has become irrelevant because the chosen ones now move in a realm where such petty concerns don't exist. This shift isn't just poetic justice, it's a form of erasure. The enemies turned fans realize they no longer have any influence, any place, or any power in the chosen one's story. Their attempts to align themselves with greatness feel hollow because the chosen ones don't even acknowledge their existence anymore. They've faded into obscurity, watching from the sidelines while the chosen ones continue to soar. The real sting isn't being defeated, it's being forgotten, and that's the ultimate fate of the enemies of the chosen ones. Their newfound admiration is too little, too late, and it serves only as a reminder of their own irrelevance. The chosen ones don't look back, and the people who once fought so hard to bring them down are left in the dust, unnoticed and unimportant. Number 8. Mastering the art of controlled chaos. The chosen ones are not afraid of chaos, they are chaos, but in its most calculated and deliberate form. While others panic at the first sign of disorder, the chosen ones embrace it, using its unpredictable nature as a weapon. They know that chaos unsettles their enemies, making them reactive and sloppy, but for the chosen ones, chaos isn't random, it's a tool, and they wield it with surgical precision. Every move they make seems spontaneous, but it's part of a larger strategy. They disrupt plans, dismantle expectations, and throw systems into disarray, knowing that their enemies can't function in the unpredictability they create. It's not just about destruction, it's about controlling the narrative. When things get chaotic, the chosen ones thrive because they've already adapted to live and succeed in the storm. This mastery of controlled chaos makes them untouchable. Enemies who rely on structure and predictability find themselves completely out of their depth. They try to regroup, to counteract, but by then the chosen ones have already moved on to their next move. It's a game of chess where the chosen ones aren't just playing. They're the ones flipping the board when it suits them. But their chaos isn't reckless. It's intentional. Every disruptive act is carefully planned to create opportunities for growth and victory. They don't just survive chaos. They manipulate it to their advantage, forcing the world to bend to their will. What terrifies their enemies the most is that the chosen ones are always comfortable where others are vulnerable. In the middle of upheaval, when everyone else is scrambling to make sense of things, the chosen ones are calm, focused, and already winning. Chaos doesn't control them. They control it, and they use it to carve their path to greatness. Number 9. Their silence is deafening. When the chosen ones stop explaining themselves, something shifts in the air. It's not just a withdrawal from the conversation. It's a declaration of power. Their silence becomes a weapon so potent that it leaves everyone around them scrambling for meaning. No longer do they feel the need to justify their every move or engage with critics. The more they remain silent, the more their enemies are forced to confront their own ignorance and insecurity. In a world obsessed with validation and noise, silence is a rare and intimidating thing. For the chosen ones, it's their way of signaling that they don't owe anyone an explanation for their greatness. They've transcended the need for approval, and in doing so, they become unassailable. Enemies who once tried to provoke them with questions or criticisms are met with a calm, unwavering silence, which sends a message that's even more powerful than words. I'm beyond your reach. This silence forces their adversaries to question everything. Why aren't the chosen ones reacting? Are they hiding something? What are they planning? The longer the silence lasts, the more confused and anxious their enemies become, unsure of their next move. Meanwhile, the chosen ones are silently executing their strategy, making power moves that go unnoticed until they're too far ahead to be caught. Silence isn't passive, it's calculated. It's a way of controlling the narrative without ever lifting a finger. As their enemies fumble in confusion, the chosen ones continue to rise, their actions speaking louder than any words ever could. In the end, their silence isn't just a defense. It's the loudest, most assertive statement they can make. Number 10. A cosmic rebuke. Divine justice is brutal. For the enemies of the chosen ones, failure isn't just a setback. It's a cosmic rebuke. What seems like a simple defeat is actually karmic annihilation, a reckoning that reverberates far beyond the immediate. The chosen one's rise isn't just about reaching success. It's about bringing a brutal form of divine justice that tears down everything their enemies have built. The universe doesn't just let them win. It ensures that their victory is the kind that erases every trace of the opposition's arrogance, plotting, and malice. When the chosen ones ascend, it's not just their own power at play. It's the inevitable consequence of everything their enemies did to stand in their way. Their detractors aren't merely left behind, they're dismantled. Every plan to bring the chosen ones down falls apart. Every smear campaign backfires, and every act of sabotage blows up in their faces. What was once a calculated attempt to destroy someone turns into a complete unraveling of their enemies' lives. This isn't just about losing. It's about having everything they worked for, everything they built, fall apart in the most poetic way. Their reputation crumbles, their peace of mind evaporates, and they are left to watch, powerless, as the world moves forward without them. It's as if the universe itself is aligning to serve a brutal justice that no human action can prevent. The rise of the chosen ones is more than success. It's the universe's way of correcting the imbalance their enemies tried to create. It's the kind of justice that doesn't need to be fought for. It arrives on its own, and when it does, it is utterly unforgiving. The chosen ones are not just victorious. They are the instrument of a cosmic reckoning that leaves their enemies broken, insignificant, and utterly consumed by the consequences of their own actions. Number 11. The relentless pursuit of mastery. The chosen ones aren't content with just being successful. They're obsessed with greatness. Success is a given for them. It's the baseline. But greatness, that's the standard they set for themselves, and it's a level so far beyond the reach of ordinary people that it's almost unfair. They don't just outwork their competition. They outthink them, outmaneuver them, and outperform them in ways that leave their adversaries grasping for air. This relentless pursuit of mastery is what separates them from the crowd. They don't take shortcuts, and they don't settle for mediocrity. Every challenge is an opportunity to hone their skills, to sharpen their minds, to perfect their craft. While others are satisfied with just doing enough to get by, the chosen ones are always pushing further, testing the limits of what's possible, and redefining the boundaries of excellence. Their competitors may try to keep up, but the chosen ones aren't just operating on a different level. They've created an entirely new league. They make it look effortless because for them mastery isn't a goal, it's a lifestyle. They're always one step ahead, constantly evolving, always refining. Their commitment to greatness is so fierce, so unwavering, that they set a standard so high that no one else can even fathom competing with them. What others see as obstacles, the chosen ones see as opportunities to grow. Where others tire out, they find the energy to push further. And in doing so, they leave their competitors in the dust. Not just because they're better, but because they've raised the bar to a level that leaves everyone else in perpetual pursuit, never quite able to catch up. Number 12. The final blow. They no longer care. The final blow in the chosen one's journey is not in a battle won or a victory claimed, it's in their transcendence. The ultimate form of victory isn't about beating their enemies into submission. It's about reaching a level so elevated that their enemies simply don't matter anymore. They've become so untouchable, so far beyond the pettiness of those who once doubted them, that the very idea of opposition fades into irrelevance. When the chosen ones stop caring, it's not out of arrogance. It's a realization of their own power. The endless struggles, the back-and-forth conflicts, the petty attempts to undermine them, all of it becomes insignificant. They've ascended to a place where their enemies' opinions, efforts, and existence don't even register on their radar. The victory is not in their enemies' defeat, but in their complete removal from the equation. What's left for those who once plotted against them? Nothing. The chosen ones have moved so far beyond the noise that the critics, the doubters, and the haters are left behind, forgotten. Their attempts to knock the chosen ones down seem laughable in hindsight, as the chosen ones continue to rise, unbothered, unaffected. It's not about winning anymore. It's about the fact that the chosen ones no longer even see the need to engage in these battles. Their enemies have become a footnote in their story, irrelevant and forgotten. The final victory is this: the chosen ones don't just succeed, they transcend the very idea of conflict. They leave their enemies floundering in the dust, watching from afar as they continue to soar in a space where no one can reach them. In the end, the chosen ones are not defined by their battles, their setbacks, or their enemies. They are defined by their unwavering belief in their purpose and their unrelenting pursuit of greatness. Their journey isn't just about overcoming obstacles. It's about transcending the very notion of opposition. Every challenge they face becomes an opportunity for growth. Every doubt becomes fuel for their ascent. And as they rise higher, they leave behind the noise, the critics, and the limitations that once held them down. Their enemies? They're nothing more than distant echoes now, irrelevant, forgotten, consumed by the very mediocrity they tried to impose on the chosen ones. The true power of the chosen ones lies not in their victories, but in their ability to keep rising, to keep evolving, until those who doubted them no longer have a place in their story. This is the essence of greatness, not just proving others wrong, but becoming so undeniably, so unapologetically extraordinary that those who sought to tear you down are left with nothing. The chosen ones don't just win the game, they change it. And in doing so, they carve a path for others to follow, a legacy that echoes far beyond the confines of the battles they fought. The game is over for anyone who doubted them. The chosen ones have already moved on to the next level, leaving everyone else behind in the dust. If you've felt the power in these words, if you've recognized the fire in the chosen one's journey, then it's time to join the movement. Don't let this moment slip away. Subscribe to the channel because this is just the beginning. You've witnessed greatness in the making, and if you want to stay ahead, to elevate yourself to that next level, you'll want to be part of what's coming next. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications, because the journey to becoming unstoppable starts now, and you don't want to miss a single moment. The game has only just begun. And with you on this path, the world is about to see something incredible. Stay with us, and let's rise together. God bless you. Welcome, the anointed ones. Never wrestle with a chosen one. It's like trying to fistfight the ocean. Pointless, exhausting, and you will drown. Here's a fact to chew on. Research shows that people who betray the most exceptional individuals in their lives often suffer long-term emotional, financial, and even physical setbacks. Coincidence? Not when you're dealing with a chosen one. Let's be clear. Making a chosen one your enemy isn't just a bad decision. It's a generational curse in the making. It's like borrowing bad karma at 1,000% interest, and trust me, the universe never misses a payment. You might think you're just another person, but here's the harsh truth. Your energy, your presence, and your very existence operate on a divine level most people can't comprehend. And when they try to take you down, oh, it's not just you they're messing with, it's the entire cosmic order. Buckle up, because today we're diving into the 12 brutal reasons why crossing a chosen one is the biggest mistake anyone could ever make. And spoiler alert, karma doesn't just knock on their door, it kicks it down. At number 1, you don't just expose truth, you redefine it. The chosen ones don't just reveal the truth, they redefine it entirely. When someone decides to make you their enemy, they unknowingly invite an upheaval of everything they thought they knew about themselves and the world. You're not just another person in their path, you're a living reminder of the truths they've spent their lives trying to avoid. This isn't about surface-level conflicts or petty grudges. When they cross you, it's like they've signed up for a crash course in facing their deepest fears and darkest insecurities, whether they're ready for it or not. You force them to confront what they've buried. Maybe it's their jealousy, their inadequacies, or the lies they've told themselves to feel better. Whatever it is, you bring it all to the surface. You don't even have to try. It's in your presence, your energy, your way of moving through life with authenticity and purpose. To someone who thrives in deception, that's terrifying. But here's the kicker. The truth you bring isn't just uncomfortable, it's transformative. While they're busy plotting or resenting, they're also being forced to reevaluate everything. They'll never admit it, but their entire perception of themselves begins to crumble piece by piece. And the harder they fight against you, the faster that process happens. This is why making you an enemy is such a colossal mistake. You don't just win a battle, you force a reckoning. They wanted to bring you down, but instead they find themselves at war with their own demons. You didn't need to lift a finger. The truth you represent did all the work. And the irony? By opposing you, they've not only exposed their weaknesses, they've also handed over the key to their undoing. Number 2, you're not seeking revenge. You are the mirror of consequences. You don't waste your energy on revenge because you don't need to. The moment someone turns against you, the universe takes over. You are not a pawn in their game. You're a mirror, reflecting their actions right back at them. When they wrong you, they're not just dealing with you. They're facing the consequences of their own choices. And those consequences, they hit harder than anything you could have orchestrated. What makes you so dangerous to your enemies isn't your retaliation. It's the fact that you don't even need to respond. Your silence, your stillness, your refusal to engage. It all speaks louder than any words or actions ever could. It leaves them spinning, confused, and most importantly, exposed. Their attacks on you are like boomerangs. The harder they throw, the faster and sharper they come back to hit them. Here's the thing. Your enemies expect you to stoop to their level, to fight fire with fire. But when you don't, it leaves them with nothing to grasp onto. Their power comes from conflict, from dragging you into their chaos. By refusing to play their game, you strip them of that power. Instead, you let karma do the heavy lifting. And karma, it doesn't miss. This isn't about weakness or passivity. It's about understanding that your energy is too valuable to waste on people who don't deserve it. You let the universe balance the scales, and it does so in ways they never see coming. While they're busy scheming and plotting, you're thriving, moving forward, and building something far greater. Their hate becomes irrelevant, their efforts meaningless. In the end, they don't just lose to you, they lose to themselves. And that's a defeat they'll never recover from. Number 3, they underestimate your ability to thrive in chaos. When someone chooses to make you an enemy, they forget one crucial fact. You thrive in chaos. While most people panic, crumble, or lose themselves when things get turbulent, you remain steady. It's not because life has been easy for you, quite the opposite. You've faced storms that would have destroyed most, and instead of breaking, you adapted. You don't fear chaos because you've been through it all before. In fact, chaos is where you come alive. Your enemies think throwing obstacles your way will trip you up, but they don't understand that you've already mastered the art of turning adversity into opportunity. The challenges they set before you become stepping stones to your next victory. While they're busy trying to plot your downfall, you're busy using their actions as fuel for your next breakthrough. Their chaos doesn't weaken you, it sharpens you. Here's the irony. The more they try to destabilize you, the more they expose their own inability to handle the very situation they've created. They're playing a game they're not built to win. They're used to people folding under pressure. But you stay calm, composed, and 5 steps ahead. While they're scrambling to keep up, you're already planning your next move. This is why making you an enemy is such a catastrophic mistake. They miscalculate, thinking you'll respond like everyone else. What they don't see is that chaos is your comfort zone. It's where you excel, where your focus sharpens, and where your creativity flourishes. The more they push, the more they lose control. By the time they realize they've underestimated you, it's too late. You've already turned their chaos into a masterpiece, leaving them stuck in the mess they created while you rise above it all. Number 4. You don't burn bridges, you dismantle the whole path. When someone crosses you, it's not just the end of a connection. It's the collapse of an entire avenue of possibilities they'll never have again. You don't just burn bridges, you dismantle the entire path that once led them to you. Your energy isn't something they can replicate, replace, or even comprehend fully until it's gone. When you cut ties, it's not a simple goodbye. It's the beginning of a long, harsh realization for them. Your presence in their life wasn't just about companionship or support. You brought opportunities they never would have found on their own. You offered wisdom that elevated their thinking, and your favor opened doors they didn't even know existed. But the moment they decide to betray or undervalue you, all of that disappears. What they fail to grasp in the moment is that you were the key to so much of their progress, their growth, and even their identity. As time passes, the true weight of their loss begins to settle in. They don't just miss you, they miss who they were with you in their life. They regret the person they could have become if they'd valued your presence. It's not just a loss of connection, it's the loss of potential. This is what makes losing you so different. You don't leave quietly. You leave a void that can't be filled. No matter how hard they try, they'll never find another person who brings the same level of insight, authenticity, and opportunity. And that regret? It's permanent. They don't just mourn the relationship, they mourn the version of themselves that only existed because of you. By dismantling the path, you ensure they can never come back, and they'll spend the rest of their lives wondering how they let you slip away. Number 5. Their energy becomes fuel for your ascension. When people try to harm you, they unknowingly become contributors to your rise. Every hateful word, every underhanded plot, And every action meant to bring you down only serves to strengthen your resolve and sharpen your focus. You don't just endure their negativity, you alchemize it. Their energy, no matter how toxic, becomes fuel for your ascension. It's not that you ignore their attempts, it's that you see through them. You understand that their actions stem from fear, jealousy, or insecurity, and instead of letting it derail you, you use it to propel yourself forward. Their negativity becomes a challenge, a spark that ignites your drive to excel. While they're busy wasting their energy on you, you're channeling that same energy into your growth, turning their malice into motivation. The irony is that their efforts to hold you back do the exact opposite. They expose weaknesses in your enemies, showing you who they are and where they're vulnerable, while simultaneously pushing you to develop strengths you didn't even know you had. With every attempt they make to tear you down, you rise higher, stronger, and more untouchable. In the end, they become unwilling participants in your success story. The very energy they pour into trying to stop you becomes the foundation of your elevation. And the more they try, the more they realize they're only pushing you further ahead. You thrive, not despite their actions, but because of them. They'll never understand how their hate transformed into the force that took you to heights they can only dream of. By the time they recognize their role in your ascension, it's too late. You've already left them far behind. Number 6. The universe weaponizes your silence. Your silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a force the universe wields with precision. When someone wrongs you, you don't waste your time arguing or trying to justify yourself. You let your silence do all the talking. And while they might mistake it for weakness or indifference at first, they quickly learn it's the most deafening response they'll ever face. When you remove yourself from their chaos, it creates a void they can't ignore. The energy they once drew from you, whether it was your support, your insight, or even just your presence, is suddenly gone. And it's in that absence that their life starts to unravel. Without your stabilizing influence, their own toxicity becomes impossible to escape. The universe magnifies your silence, reflecting their actions back at them with brutal clarity. Your silence doesn't give them a target. It doesn't provide them with fuel for more drama. Instead, it leaves them alone with their thoughts, their actions, and their consequences. The noise of their own toxicity becomes unbearable in the quiet you leave behind. They expected a reaction, a fight, a rebuttal, maybe even forgiveness. But what they get is the cold, unrelenting mirror of your absence. And that's when the spiral begins. They realize too late that you were more than just someone in their life. You were a grounding force. Without you, their life becomes unbalanced, chaotic, and confusing. The very energy they used to attack you now turns inward, consuming them. Your silence isn't passive. It's an active, calculated withdrawal that forces them to face the full weight of their own actions. By saying nothing, you've said everything, and the universe ensures they feel it deeply and completely. Number 7. You're a trigger they can't escape. Your very existence is a mirror that some people cannot bear to look into. You don't need to speak, flaunt, or prove anything. Your presence alone is enough to unsettle them. It's not because you're trying to outshine anyone, but because you shine so effortlessly, so naturally, that it magnifies the cracks in their facade. For those who thrive on pretense or live in denial of their own insecurities, you're the ultimate trigger they can't escape. It's not just that you succeed, it's how you carry yourself while doing it. Your confidence isn't loud, but it's undeniable. Your authenticity doesn't seek approval, yet it commands respect. These qualities expose the gaps in others, the places where they're pretending, the insecurities they've buried, and the ambitions they've abandoned. While you're focused on living your truth, they're focused on trying to find ways to undermine it, all because you make them painfully aware of everything they're not. The irony is, the harder they try to dim your light, the brighter it becomes. Their efforts to bring you down only serve to spotlight their flaws. Every attempt to criticize, belittle, or outshine you backfires spectacularly, revealing just how threatened they are. It's like a neon sign flashing their insecurities for the world to see. But here's the truth. You're not their problem. They are. You didn't create their insecurities. You just made them impossible to ignore. And while they're busy spiraling, trying to manage their discomfort, you continue to rise, unaffected and unstoppable. In the end, it's not your light that they can't escape. It's the darkness within themselves that you inadvertently illuminate. And for them, there's no running from that. Number 8. Their loss is permanent and they know it. When someone makes the mistake of turning you into an enemy, they don't just lose a person, they lose a once-in-a-lifetime connection that can't be replaced. Most people think losing someone is temporary, that time heals all wounds, and that life moves on. But when it comes to you, it's different. Losing you is permanent, and deep down, they know it. You're not just another person passing through their life. You're a source of energy, wisdom, and opportunities they'll never find again. Your presence elevated them in ways they probably didn't even realize at the time. You didn't just offer advice, you provided clarity. You didn't just give support, you opened doors they couldn't access on their own. And now that you're gone, all of that is gone too. They'll spend years, maybe their entire lives, trying to fill the void you left behind. They'll seek out people who remind them of you, hoping to recreate the dynamic they took for granted. But no matter how hard they try, it won't work. What you brought to the table wasn't ordinary. It wasn't something they can duplicate or buy or charm out of someone else. It was unique to you, and they threw it away. This realization doesn't hit them all at once. It creeps in slowly, in the quiet moments when they reflect on their choices. It grows stronger with every failed attempt to replace what they lost. Over time, the regret becomes a permanent fixture in their life, a constant reminder of what could have been if they had chosen differently. And the harsh truth? That regret isn't just painful, it's eternal. You were there once in a lifetime and they let you slip away. There's no coming back from that. Number 9. Your victory is written before their schemes begin. When people conspire against you, they don't realize they're stepping into a game they've already lost. Before their schemes even begin, your victory is set in stone. It's not arrogance or luck. It's the way the universe works when you walk in alignment with your purpose. Their plots, no matter how calculated, are no match for the unseen forces that protect and elevate you. The beauty of it all lies in how futile their efforts are. They may invest time, energy, and resources into trying to sabotage you, but instead of succeeding, they only reveal their own limitations. Their schemes highlight their insecurities, their small-mindedness, and their inability to create anything meaningful for themselves. While they waste their energy plotting, you're busy thriving, evolving, and staying focused on your path. What they don't understand is that the universe is always watching. Every move they make against you only accelerates your blessings. The energy they pour into tearing you down is redirected to build you up, and the more they push, the higher you rise. It's as if their actions activate a cosmic counterbalance, a force that ensures their negativity becomes the very thing that propels you forward. By the time they realize what's happening, it's too late. Their efforts to harm you not only fail, but backfire, leaving them exposed and defeated. Meanwhile, your life continues to unfold in ways that prove their schemes were never a threat. Your victory isn't just a moment, it's a narrative, a testament to the fact that no weapon formed against you can prosper. In the end, their actions serve as nothing more than a footnote in your story, a reminder of how unstoppable you truly are when the universe is on your side. Number 10. Your intuition makes you untouchable. Your intuition is your greatest shield and sharpest sword. It's not just a vague feeling or a lucky guess. It's a finely tuned radar that picks up on intentions before actions ever manifest. People might think they're clever, scheming behind closed doors or plotting in secrecy. But what they fail to realize is that nothing escapes your inner knowing. You see their moves before they make them, their motives before they even realize them themselves. This isn't some mystical accident. It's the result of being deeply connected to yourself and the energy around you. You've learned to trust those subtle cues, the shift in someone's tone, the sudden change in their behavior, or the way their energy feels heavy with hidden agendas. It's not paranoia, it's discernment. And every time they think they're outsmarting you, they're really just leaving a trail of breadcrumbs that leads right back to their intentions. The beauty of your intuition is that it doesn't just protect you, it also turns their scheming into their downfall. By sensing their plans early, you're able to stay 10 steps ahead, often without them even realizing it. You don't have to retaliate or confront them directly. You simply let their actions play out while staying unbothered and untouchable. In trying to trap you, they only end up exposing themselves, making it easier for karma to deliver its justice. The more they try to outwit you, the more they reveal about their character, or lack thereof. And as their own toxicity consumes them, you remain steadfast, untouched, and thriving. Your intuition isn't just a defense mechanism. It's a divine gift that ensures you stay one step ahead of every scheme and plot, leaving your enemies tangled in the webs they wove for themselves. Number 11. They become the architects of their own downfall. When someone decides to target you, they unknowingly seal their own fate. It's not because you retaliate or seek revenge. It's because attacking someone like you is an act of self-destruction. You carry divine energy, and by choosing to harm you, they aren't just opposing a person. They're opposing the very forces that protect and uplift you. Their obsession with hurting you becomes their greatest weakness. They get so consumed by envy, spite, or insecurity that they fail to see the damage they're doing to themselves. Every plot they concoct, every lie they spread, and every negative thought they harbor against you doesn't reach its intended target. Instead, it turns back on them, amplifying their own toxicity. Their focus on trying to dim your light blinds them to the pitfalls they're creating in their own path. You don't have to lift a finger because their actions are enough to set the wheels of their downfall in motion. It's like trying to harm the sun for shining too brightly. It's futile, self-defeating, and ultimately destructive. They dig their own graves with every step they take against you, oblivious to the fact that they're the ones losing ground. The universe doesn't take kindly to people who attack divine energy. By targeting you, they sever their connection to the abundance, wisdom, and opportunities they could have accessed. They're not just losing you, they're cutting themselves off from blessings they didn't even realize were tied to your presence. And as their obsession deepens, so does their ruin. In the end, their downfall isn't just poetic. It's inevitable, a direct consequence of their choice to go against someone who was never their enemy, only their mirror. Number 12. Karma hits harder when you're a divine catalyst. When someone chooses to wrong you, they don't just trigger karma. They awaken a force that goes straight to the core of their being. You're not just an average person living an average life. You're a divine catalyst, someone chosen to spark change and growth in the world. That kind of energy doesn't come without protection, and it certainly doesn't come without consequences for those who try to harm it. Karma doesn't play around when it comes to you. It doesn't just deliver a slap on the wrist or a minor setback. It dismantles every area of their life that led them to believe they could cross you. If they operate from a place of greed, karma strikes their resources. If their intentions were rooted in jealousy, it shatters their self-worth. If they acted out of deceit, it exposes their lies for all to see. It's not just about punishment, it's about stripping away every facade and delusion that allowed them to think they could harm someone of your caliber. The harshest part of their downfall is realizing who you truly are after it's too late. They didn't just mess with anyone. They messed with someone chosen, someone protected by forces they can't comprehend. Their biggest mistake wasn't just targeting you. It was failing to see that you were a blessing in their life, not an obstacle. And by the time karma finishes its work, they're left to reflect on their actions in the ruins of what they once had. Your role as a divine catalyst means you don't just endure these attacks, you rise from them, untouched and more powerful than ever. Meanwhile, those who wronged you are left to face the harsh reality that crossing you was the worst decision they could have made. In the end, making you an enemy is more than a mistake. It's an irreversible error that sends ripples through the universe. Those who dare to cross you don't just face consequences. They face a reckoning that they can't escape. You're not just any individual. You are a force, a divine energy that can't be diminished or destroyed. Every attempt to bring you down only elevates you higher, while their lives spiral in the wake of their own misguided choices. You are the embodiment of cosmic justice. Their plots, their schemes, their spiteful actions, all of it becomes the fuel that accelerates your rise and their downfall, and the most bitter truth they'll have to face. They'll spend their lives trying to understand how they were defeated by someone they thought was just a mere obstacle, not realizing that they were playing a losing game from the start. So let them plot, let them scheme, let them attempt to destroy what they can't understand. Because no matter how hard they try, your victory is already written. You're not just protected, you're chosen. Karma is on your side, and the universe is working in your favor, ensuring that those who dare to wrong you will never escape the consequences of their actions. They made a mistake, and now they'll live with the regret of crossing someone whose energy is untouchable. The tables have already turned, and the greatest irony of it all is that they never saw it coming. If you felt the power in these words and recognized the undeniable truth in them, then you're in the right place. Don't let this be the last time you hear messages that resonate with your soul. Hit that subscribe button and join a community that knows their worth, understands their power, and walks in divine purpose. You're not here by accident. You're here because you are meant for greatness, and together we'll continue to rise above all the noise. So, go ahead, subscribe, and never miss another dose of inspiration and truth. Your journey to unstoppable greatness starts now. Stay blessed.